Jomboy, appreciate you being here.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yesterday, I think we were talking to like Grant Williams or somebody, and I see you out there, and I text my guy, I'm like, it's freaking Jomboy. Like, I geeked out a little bit. Because it was you and your boy, and you didn't even really stop to watch. Why would you? We suck. But I saw you for like a split second, maybe like just stopped there, and then you walked on, and I sent my guys to chase you, and they never found you. But now, today,
we were quick.
Yeah.
No, I was filming and sending it to my friend Jamie. She's a big fan. And when I started doing podcasts and stuff, she was one of the few people that was like, no, I get what you're trying to do. Like, you're going to try to do what Bobby Bones is doing. And, 'cause so many people were like, what? Podcast? Like radio? Or what is it? So I had to grab a little video and send it to her, and she was like, what?
That's awesome, because I was also like, what? Because I saw you.
That's crazy. I appreciate that.
And you came by today. I have a lot of stuff to talk to you about. And also, we had dinner with Rich Eisen last night, who's like a friend of mine, but you were on his show. And I watched the clip, and I thought I was so proud for like anybody that is making it in what we'll call non-traditional. It's not non-traditional anymore for anybody under 70 years old. But when he had you on, I felt like he was so respectful to what you do and how you do it that it was like he had Adam Schefter on. And I thought it was a great appearance by you. That had to be a pretty cool moment, right, to go on that show and do that?
Yeah, he's been awesome. So he's a Yankees fan. So anyone that's a Yankees fan, I kind of like jet streamed into their, I don't know, whatever they consume, I'm there somehow. And he's been great because he'll have me on and he'll ask me about baseball, you know. About my opinions. Any big Yankee moment, I usually get a text like, hey, you want to come on? And I love doing his show.
Last night, his son had texted him while we were having dinner that Volpe dropped a fly ball, and that was the big news of the night. Like, just dropped a fly ball straight up. And
it was bad.
So you actually saw it. We were eating.
Yeah, it was bad.
So some real life questions here. Number one, love talking baseball. Number two, and that wasn't a question, it was more of a statement.
I appreciate that.
Yes. Number two is drawn to the way you can read lips. Is that something that you were always good at before you took it and added it into sports? Where did this skill come from? I'm so drawn to it.
Yeah, I never knew it was something I could do that others couldn't. And so I never really knew I could read lips. But then I remembered, I said, Dad, well, remember we would watch games and the pitcher would be screaming off the mound and you'd say, Jim, what did he say? So we just intuitively knew I could tell him what he said, but we never thought it was anything crazy. And he was like, oh yeah, I do remember like doing that, like rewinding it, and then I would tell him. And then so when I started making the videos, there was some that I could just see, but I thought, because everyone can read lips when it's let's go or certain things. So I thought it wasn't that crazy. Now that I do it, I have gotten so much better at it and practicing. But I couldn't, like there's lip readers that you just send them lips and they can read it. I can read sports lips, kind of, and I can read baseball lips a lot. So it's mostly context. Like I bet he's talking about this, and then I can figure it out.
Are you ever wrong and someone's like, you did not read me wrong?
Well, no one's ever done that because I really only do it and put it out if I think I'm like 95% that I have the sentiment and then like 100% the words. So sometimes I'll know this sentence. I just posted one where I knew the umpire said something position to call balls and strikes, but I could not get the first three words. So I was like, that's close enough. If I'm wrong on those three words, I'm not like detrimenting his character.
Margin of error. It's like a poll.
So I think I said, you're not in the position to call balls and strikes. And then people said what he said was you left your position to call balls and strikes because that's the verbiage of the rule, which I should have went and looked up maybe. But that's how I'll be wrong. Is like it's not the sentiment because otherwise I won't do it. I don't want to ever put words in someone's mouth that they can easily be like, that's not what I said.
Yeah, I tend to do that a lot. And
here's the audio.
Yeah, I do the opposite. So whenever any of my, like I have friends that are deaf, or their family members deaf, and that's where they got that skill. But you don't have that, right?
No.
You just naturally were able to read lips-ish.
I think I've always been intrigued with hearing what you can't hear. And I've always been intrigued with watching baseball or any broadcast, like the broadcast. Like I know that when they show a camera on screen, the director's going to switch to that camera because he doesn't want a camera on screen, so that one doesn't. Like little kid, I would just like, oh, I bet they switch to that camera. Or so I'd always be watching to find the next thing to talk about, I guess, and that's one of them.
Coolest player that's reached out to you that's a fan? That you think is cool personally? Maybe not the most famous, but like...
Ooh. Well, Evan Longoria was like always in our comments, and he talks to us a lot. That's cool. We have some now, so I'm going to go back to like early. Like Greg Bird, really early on, like really, really early on, invited us to Denver for like a cage session. And that was before the 2018 season started, so that was super early. And then in 2018 spring training, Aaron Judge saw me and just said, "What's up, dude?" We were super small. It was just Yankee stuff. So those were wild.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah. The non-sports guys always blow my mind.
Like?
Bill Hader's reached out a lot.
That's
and will like text me and chat and they'll like review. Like, you're like, "Oh, well, that one was great," you know, or when Barry was going on, I'd be like, "That episode was great." And I'm like, "This is wild." Bill Burr tweeted about me once. But sometimes it's like marginal guys. It's like Garnier from Band of Brothers, you know, the actor.
Or like The Situation. Yeah. It's like somebody random that used to be.
Yeah. One time I had this a musical artist, Jeffrey Martin, who's very small, really small, but he reached out and I was like, that was the biggest like, but he's not that popular.
But
so,
you like him.
Oh, I love him, yeah.
Well, it's like me today. I have an Andre Dawson jersey on because I freaking love Andre Dawson.
Yep.
Like when I was a kid, I'm a massive Cubs fan. It was Andre Dawson and Mark Grace. Like those are my guys. And so when like my wife was like, "Who's there?" and I was like, "Andre Dawson," and she's like, "I don't know. I don't know."
Doesn't translate.
Yeah, it doesn't translate at all. What's up? Are you yelling? The Hawk. Thank you. That is his
Hawk.
nickname. That's correct, sir.
Andre
Thank
Dawson.
you. Yes, yes. I have bias, but so one of my dear friends for like the past 15 years is Matt Holliday, his son Jackson now, and we'll just talk baseball for a second.
Yeah.
Obviously, didn't have an initial positive run. Got sent back down, back to Virginia Beach, back up now, is just crushing the ball. Like, how long do we, is this because he now can hit lefties?
It's because he found out what he needed to work on, you know, so he's probably so good at AA, AAA that there's not much that he knows I need to make a correction because it's not harming my overall production. If every lefty he hits 250 off of, but the righties he's hitting 400, the grand scheme of things, he doesn't know I need to sharpen this tool. Now I'm just talking I don't know if this is exactly him, but I think when rookies get called up and they get humbled for the first time in their entire lives, they're so upset about it and all of a sudden feel this feeling they've never thought. They're like, okay, I will go work as hard as I can at whatever I need to, so when I get back up, that doesn't happen again.
I know you're a Yankees fan, but is this Baltimore's year?
I think
Same guy.
One guy.
Hawk. Yeah.
I think the AL is pretty even. I think Baltimore's got as many holes as the Yankees do. So I think they're being a good race. Who's healthy? What's your rotation come postseason? But I'm excited for the playoffs this year, especially the wild card, which I have never been excited for the wild card since the new format.
There's not 94 teams in it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like there are college basketball teams now in the Major League Baseball wild card. It's pretty, pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's going to be a little more 5-game series, 7-game series leading up to the World Series, which should be fun.
Something that you said that has stuck with me, and this is before Trout was injured and was done for the whole year, but you compared how the Yankees used Judge to how Trout's career has been with the Angels, and this has got to be a year that, or it's a waste.
Well, they've made the playoffs. Some people got really upset. I don't want it to become that. The haters are already saying that. Yankee haters saying, "Oh, it's like Trout, they're wasting it." The Yankees aren't. They're going to get Soto. I hope they're going to try to get Soto, I should say, which is all they can really do. And Judge has been to the postseason, but we need to get some wins. It's New York. Jeter's a hero, not because he was a really good baseball player and a captain, because in the playoffs he has like 5 moments I could name, and even casual baseball fans are like, "Yeah, I've heard about that." Like, so Judge needs those moments, but he needs the surrounding people to help him out.
I'm so jealous you have a team that spends money.
Yeah.
And
well, you spent money on a manager.
Yeah. And we see how that's working out so far. I'm happy we didn't sell. Because the Cubs, obviously we get Counsell. We spend all the money on Counsell. He comes from Milwaukee. But really, we were at the position of we start first third of the season, we're playing pretty well.
Yep.
It did not go well up until the All-Star break. And since we've played okay, but I'm happy. And the past Cubs teams, they would have sold everybody.
Yeah, the half rebuilds don't really work. So that's why this new wild card is so tough, because if you look at the Cubs when they did sell everything and rebuild, the Astros when they rebuilt, the Tigers never worked out, but they tried it. The Orioles just rebuilt. Like, you have to go rock bottom and say, for 3 years, we're going to be rock bottom. But now with this wild card where you can be a 500 ball club, get into the postseason, and maybe make a run like the Diamondbacks and the Rangers last year, you're not going to have too many teams commit to that giant, we're going to stink, which I think is hard because selling at the deadline isn't really that worth it unless you're going to, like, go all in.
I also feel like for owners, adding the teams in the wild card is beneficial because you can say, well, we made the wild card, even if you're the very last team in. Like,
it's all money.
And you can use that as a, look, we made the wild card. Like, we're actually trying to kind of appease a fan base that would get upset if you did not make the playoffs.
Yes.
I feel like it's a free pass for owners to not have to spend money because they can claim they made the playoffs, even though it's like the spots that have just been added.
And they want to add more. They want to get to 50,
everybody's in.
They want to get 50% because they look at NBA and NFL. 50% of the teams get into the postseason, and I think we're at like 48 or something like that.
Communism baseball is what we're calling.
I think they're going to try and add 2 more teams. They're split the league, no divisions, just NL, AL, and then the top half of each go in. I think that's what they want to do.
It sounds like college football, what college football is doing.
Yeah,
where
I don't really enjoy it. I don't enjoy that the wild card, if you want that many teams in, fine, but I hate playoff baseball kicking off at 2 o'clock on a Tuesday when there's no fans there and no one can watch on TV.
Yeah.
You know, when the Cubs were in that wild card game, my friends that weren't baseball fans came over to our house and watched it because, oh my goodness, we kicked off with a primetime game where one of these teams was going to get eliminated. It was a 1-game series. I know it sucked for the teams that tried so hard and got it, but for the fans,
it was exciting. Yeah. Yes.
And if it was your team, gut-wrenching. I hated it when the Yankees were in it. When the Yankees weren't in it, it was must-see baseball.
Last question for you. Give me your Mount Rushmore of most hated players.
Ooh.
And not personally.
Oh, that I think the public hates?
No.
Oh, that I hate? Oh, as a player.
Yes, being a Yankees fan.
Oh, these are so irrational. So if you clip this up.
But I would like to say, we will not clip this up. He does not dislike you as a human being. It's based as his fandom, who you hated the most.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to like my 14-year-old self when it was really irrational.
Perfect.
Jose Valverde, the closer for the Tigers? Tigers?
Yeah, Detroit.
Did not like him.
Why not, though?
Oh, because he was so
funny?
flamboyant and good and like just would do all the celebrations that closers do now, but they didn't do that much.
Makes sense.
Same with who was the closer? Eventually, I came around to like him because he played until he was 45. Archer. No.
I don't know Archer.
Rodney?
Rodney, yeah.
I was like,
there was a lot of closers.
I don't know Archer. Whoever Archer.
Because that meant you were losing.
Got it.
And they were celebrating.
Yeah.
So I think closers really rubbed me the wrong way. As far as Yankees,
I'm surprised it's not all Red Sox for you.
you know what happened? I moved to California in high school, and they didn't really care about baseball the way the Northeast cares about it. So I grew this respect for Phillies, for Mets, for just the fans out there, even some Midwest fans, just for being so diehard, that it lessened some of the hate. But yeah, I hated Pedro. I mean, you're talking high school year,
Obviously.
Pedro. Like, now I love him. As soon as he went to the Mets and we got to play him again in the World Series, I was like, yes, give me this back. Like, I like hating you. Papelbon was really fun to hate.
Still kind of fun to hate, actually.
Still, now as I'm an adult, it's sad to hate. Like, still hate, but I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
But I like watching him, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
come
it's like
on.
watching a
Yeah,
car crash on
like,
Twitter.
Be
Oh,
quiet.
what are you doing?
Yeah, be quiet. We'll accept those 4. There's only 4 heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One irrational is Wilson Bettamy. Doesn't deserve it at all. But he had like a tiny stint with the Yankees, and I was just like, get this guy out of here.
You attached to hate quick.
Quick. I think A-Rod was hurt, and he was subbing in, and I was like, this guy stinks. I don't even think his stats were that bad looking back at it.
Well, massive fan.
Thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate that so much.
Final story I'll tell you. And this is about you, but
Okay.
Indulge me for 1 second. So I got invited this year to go play in the Major League Baseball Celebrity All-Star Game.
Nice.
And I thought it was pretty cool. I'm a big fan, obviously. We went to Arlington where the Rangers played. And I went, and it was an amazing experience. I actually won MVP of the game, and it was super cool, and I got the belt. Thank you. But this is not, trust me.
I thought this was about...
It is. It is
okay,
about him.
right.
It is about him. Because I'm telling you, from the minute that I was invited in and it was announced, to even after I won the MVP, probably 200 tweets were, "You're not famous. Jomboy didn't make it. He's way more famous than you. That's bullcrap. You have such a loyal army that attacked me for no reason."
Well,
I'd like to shout out because I respect that.
All right. Well, I would never tell him to do that. I'll tell him right now, don't do that.
No, I mean, I actually was like...
a reflection on me, guys.
No, it was a great reflection. I was like, that's the passion for
Yeah,
freaking...
that's nice.
Because I was like,
They
know
want
what?
to see me go out there and embarrass myself.
Well, I was like, they're right, because I'm a fan of you as well. But I really appreciate the time.
Was Nicky Cash your coach?
Dion was.
Oh, wow. Okay. Tough break for Nicky. No MVP on his team.
I know.
Yeah.
And tough break for Dion that the MVP was a really unathletic guy. But we pulled it off.
Did you know you were going to get it? Like, did you deserve it?
About the third inning, yeah, dude, I was on fire.
After the homer and the triple,
I was on
kinda
fire.
knew.
I made like 4 plays in the field.
Yeah, you knew.
But then even after I made like a really great play, I was like, Jomboy should be here. In my head, that's what I thought. Great to see you. Thank you, Jomboy.
Yeah, no,
Appreciate
thank you
buddy.
so much. I appreciate that.